You're listening to Modern Male Radio with Jared Zavastosky and Sydney Hall, right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jared Zavastosky, and you're listening to Modern Male Radio. This is all the stuff your mama should have told you and the shit your daddy never knew. And joining me tonight, our fill-in co-host, Miss Tina Jordan.
Hi, guys. Sorry, Jared didn't tell me this was live and video. So
She didn't know this was on tape.
5 minutes to get ready. I'm like, oh, I'm a little, had too much fun last night.
You missed it. Less than 5 minutes ago, her whole makeup bag was splayed out all over this table, and she was going at it. But I don't notice the difference between how you walked in and how you look now. You look exactly the same. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of
You always look lovely, Tina.
Thank you, Jared.
That's why we have you on the show. It's to bait guys into listening to me. The more pretty girls I have on the show, the more guys will be like, "Oh, hey, I think he might have a point here. You know, he hangs out with hot girls. Like, maybe I should listen to his show." So City Hall is out tonight. Some family issues or something. I'm not really sure. He could be hungover and just faking it. I don't know. But I love Sydney to death, and our well wishes go out to him. If there's a family problem, then I hope that things get better, and if he's just drunk or hungover, I hope that he heals and recovers well.
Or maybe he's just still having a good time.
Exactly. He could still be having a good time.
If that's so, cheers, Sydney.
Cheers.
Right back at you.
And this is
Happy
our New Year's
Year.
show, so we took the liberty of actually drinking in the studio tonight.
Yes, I have to have my Clamato. It is so good.
Those are good. This is the best hangover cure on planet Earth. But we've got a really special show for you guys tonight because we're going to be giving you a year-long preview. I know last Christmas we did our review. Now we're going to be doing our preview. So Happy New Year. And it's also happy, what is it? It's day one of the Inner Gym Meditation Challenge. And for those of you who've been following the show, we had a guest on named Light Watkins. And he was doing this meditation thing, and it's kind of radical because, you know, you've done meditation, Tina, and you know you're kind of who introduced me to the guru community and the spiritualistic, you know, all the. But I love Light's take on yoga meditation because it's not all like you don't have to be a yogi, you don't have to be a vegan. He's like, look, meditation is something that you can do in a business suit, like. It's just, and he really took all of the stuff that surrounds meditation and pulled it out and really just got to the core of what matters. And that's kind of what we're doing with the Modern Male Movement. So when I had him on, it was like, okay, cool, this guy's got this kind of radical new approach. And then I actually started reading his book and doing the meditation like this morning. And I'll admit, like, I've never really meditated successfully before. And I did today, you know.
That's awesome, Jared. You know, really, I think for me also meditation just reaffirms your goals, you know, because you're saying them out loud and you're believing them. I mean, because if you skip that, then you have no path and no direction.
Yeah.
It's like usually the first thing to do in the morning. It's like it just starts your whole day and you feel so good and you just had your conversation with God. You know, you're just like, I'm done. And for me, it sets my day, sets my goals. And then, you know, the vision boards that I do, like, I mean, I've got...
That's meditation with affirmations, right? Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. I don't really like have, I mean, affirmations, you know, more like Tony Robbins. Every day and every way I get better and better. You say, I don't say the same thing all the time, you know. I just start seeing and feeling and believing what I want to do and, you know, living it out. I mean, usually when I go hiking sometimes, like, I'll probably like a crazy person. I'll see like, I'll be like flowers or, you know, poppies. And I'm like, oh, those are my fans. Hi. You know, just like, hi, fans.
Yeah.
And I wave to them and I'm like, oh, like, you know, it's crazy. And I mean, literally, I was in Mexico City doing like my pre-book tour because it's not quite done, which I need your help. So we're going to do that.
We will. And for those of you who don't know, I actually own a publishing company called Innovative Awareness. So if you have a book that you would like to get made, I can definitely help you with that. We're going to be doing your book here shortly,
which is called I Marry Me. And it is a girlfriend's guide to loving themselves. And through inspirational stories where I never lower my standards. Like,
yeah, because you've had so many guys try and date you with money and try and buy you and try and manipulate your self-esteem. And it's like, you know, there's a constant power trip when you're dating guys that have a lot of money. You know, it's all about power and prestige and control. And, you know, they think that girls will dress themselves up to basically like, you know, be bought. And then they think that they can buy you. And you've navigated that world. And you're still single because you've married yourself.
Yeah, and I honestly, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm celibate. but
you heard it here.
I I just like being told what to do. And I'm like, I so know what I want. And I'm like, if I make my own money, I can make my own choices. When someone's paying for all your bills, it's like they feel like they own you. And I'm like, nuh-uh, you're not doing that. Like, I'm not going to fit my life into your schedule. I love my freedom and I love myself. I don't ever feel like I'm never lonely, ever. Like, that's just the thing. Like, I can't get enough alone time. So if I do selfies, it's, oh my God, I got alone time. Like, I'm happy to be alone because I love to read. I'll sit and listen to YouTube and listen to, like Creators Are Success. I think is one of my favorite channels. It has all the things that I love, Napoleon Hill and Eckhart Tolle, and he has just great stuff. Anyway.
And you've actually told me the story on how you manifest things in your life, which is it's actually incredible because you showed me your vision board once, and you showed me all of the stuff that you've done, and it's crazy because we're gonna have a motivational speaker on here very shortly within the next couple of shows. She just had a vision board party, and it's interesting because I was, she posted this thing on Instagram, and she's a retired porn star, and she came out, and now she's a motivational speaker, and I love that. Like, I absolutely love the idea that you can rebrand yourself, and you can transform your life, and you can, wherever you've been, and that's something that's where you're going too. I think I actually sent you a picture of that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to rebrand myself because honestly, I don't care what people think of me. I really don't, because every day is a new day.
Yeah.
And I care what I think of myself.
Well, that's a good point. So, I mean, do you believe that? Do you feel like there even needs to be a rebrand, or is the problem really the way that people view anything?
Well, I think if you're feel like you were in a slump and something happened to you and you're like, I'm not proud of what I did, then rebrand. But I'm proud of every decision I made in my life because I made it from my heart and with no hidden agenda. So I don't have any regrets. I don't need to rebrand myself. I'm not trying to be something that I feel like, oh, wow, can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
When I met Hef, I was a stripper. I was making $25,000 a month, and I went to
Ballin'.
I swear, at 24 years old, bought my first house. I used to rent, on Wonderland Avenue next to like Johnny Depp or someone had a house up there. I didn't really know him because I worked all the time, but I just was go-getter. And how I got into stripping was because, 1994, we had the earthquake, and I was a loan processor, and they closed down all of the mortgage companies because we couldn't get appraisals through. And they closed our company, and then finally I'm like, well, I got to go to school. So I went to school. Anyway, one of my girlfriends was a dancer, and I went in when I picked it from work, and I was like, wow, these people aren't really that bad. I just had this whole picture of like craziness, and it was like a little bar in Chatsworth where I actually my first job. So I was cocktail waitressing. Anyway, one thing led after another. I was making like $175 just cocktail waitressing, while my other job I was making $1,750 a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap! So I worked every job. I was like, and I never drank. I didn't do any drugs. I was just like super like focused and taking everybody's shift, and I was like killing it. So then I'm like, wow, I got to go to Vegas. So then I went to Vegas, and back in the day it was like really. There was no clubs. There was 3 clubs. It was Olympic Garden, Crazy Rich 2, and Cheetahs. I worked at Cheetahs. It was like the deja vu of clubs. But I was like, I'm the hottest girl here. I'm going to be busy. I'm not trying
Big fish, small pond.
Right. I'm not trying to put this on my resume. I don't care if I work at Spearmint Rhino. Well, there wasn't one then. But, I have to say I work at OG. Like, classy stripper. Huh. I don't think so. Like, I'm going there because I want to be consistently working. And I didn't want to have to go to a champagne room because those things freaked me out. Cheetahs was like just a total bar, $20 a dance right there. That's it. There was no like rooms, So it was completely safe, and I was just killing it. So anyway, so I have nothing to be ashamed of. I loved everything that I did, and I think everything transformed me to like be dancing. Oh my God! I mean, made me feel more sexy. I know sensual. I know how to move, and I mean, I barely even had sex with my husband. So like. It made me feel more confident and like know what to do, and like it was weird. I can't even believe I survived that long. I was 7 when I divorced him, 28 when I met Hef, and then my Centerfold came out 29. So anyway, that's when I really learned how to have sex when I started dating Hef. So.
Oh wow! So he taught you a thing or two.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, no shit.
A lot of stuff.
I would have never put that together. I would have never thought that Hef would be a badass in bed. He seemed like he hit his prime before he started. We've got
I'm sorry, I'm getting hot in here.
We got Tina's little special doggy in the house tonight. Say hi, Rolex.
He's a ragamuffin. This is my watchdog.
I know, he looks like he hit it hard last night.
His name is Rolex, and I love him to death. But he gets stressed out when I'm not home, and I think he sweated. He was just so a nervous wreck.
So Tina, tell me about how you manifested stuff into your life. I mean, because we're going from meditation, and I mean, the whole meditation thing was really just it's happiness, and it's funny because I think we associate happiness as a feeling and as a destination at the same time, or like an envelopment, like happiness as like a place of being, and it is a feeling, it is a place of being, but more than that, it's kind of just a state of mind. And I've never really experienced it in that way because it was interesting. Like, I mean, I didn't go into it today going, I'm going to feel happy. I was like, you know what? I'm a little hungover. I'm going to meditate, and I'm just going to do it for 5 minutes. And it was right at the end of the 5 minutes when things started to kick in, and I was like, oh wow, I feel really good right now. Just letting your mind flow into these places that it had never really settled that way. And then I did it for another 5 minutes, and it felt really, really good. And I was suddenly tempted to start manifesting. And I started picturing, my house, my car, everything that I wanted in life. And we've talked extensively about that. And I've seen your vision board, and you've actually you met Kid Rock because of it.
I know, that's so crazy.
You've done a whole bunch of really crazy things.
But you're not supposed to put people on the board, and I didn't know that. So, be careful. But because Florence Scovel Shinn, my other favorite authors.
Yeah, she's great.
And I didn't really realize put two and two together. But you can't. It's kind of like the pink elephant. You can't. If you want something so bad that you're not waiting for divine timing, then when you get that thing, it could be totally horrible for you because you rushed the time.
Yeah.
You'll get it, but Florence Scovel Shinn wrote about this lady wanted this house across the street, but she didn't ask for it, in divine timing and in the right way.
Yeah, the motherfucker died.
Yeah, he died, and then her husband moves, and they move in, and then her husband dies. Mm-hmm. So it's like, be very careful. Oh, I got
Sounds
chills.
like a ghost problem to me.
I got chills. I'm very intuitive and spiritual, and it's really crazy. And, and obviously, you really can't, you create your own success, you create your day, but there are things that are going to happen that you did not create, but there are things that happened for you for a reason, so that what's going to happen for you later, you're going to understand why it happened.
I feel like it's a river. You're on a river, that river is flowing. You can pick which rapids you hit. You can pick whether or not you get stuck on rocks. You can navigate, and you can stay in the shallow end the whole time, or you can park. But when you park, the river's still going. When you're on the river's still going. You can try and paddle upstream, but the river is still going.
That's a really good analogy. I like that.
I spent a lot of time river rafting, and me and my brother don't get along all that well. So I'm stuck in this boat, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk to this asshole. So let me think about, it was kind of a meditative process to go river rafting. I'd never done that before. I'm new. I grew up in Maine, so we camped a lot and stuff. But it's once I moved to California, it was something that I haven't done in a while. So I go out and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back to my roots and I'm roughing it. And by day 3, I'm like, I need a shower. I don't want to be here, But it really it forces you to really analyze what's inside and kind of be with yourself. And I've come to a lot of great discoveries. On a river, weirdly enough.
That's crazy. I think, really it's when you're around nature and you're not around technology when you really find things yourself, because that's when you're the clearest. I do angel card readings, and I haven't been doing my hikes like I normally do, and because I'm just getting into my new place, and it keeps saying, go to nature. And it's so true. When you're out there, that's why I call these ladies, crows, there's when I'm hiking, they're like blah blah blah, they're gossiping the whole time. I'm like, you're in nature, get off your phone, you're supposed to be enjoying this. Enjoy this beautiful moment with no cell phone, no this, no that. So I actually take my Kelly Howe Brain Sync Create Success with me when I go hiking and put that on, because the beta and theta brainwaves, it really works. And I really feel the vibrations when I love Fragment. That's where I hike a lot. So, but nature is, I think you really find yourself, or things connect to you. because you're not having any distractions, and that's why those sea salt lamps are so good to have, that you light up with the heat, because it takes away all the electronics in your house and all that kind of that vibration. It calms it down.
Well, and one of the things I really loved about, because I mean all that stuff's very it's very guru-y, and it's kind of hard,
like feng shui.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for like people that are on the outside to be like, oh hey, I want to get into that, because like honestly, I'm never gonna be like and cool with meditation and be like a yogi and go to India. Like I'm never gonna do that. So
never say never.
Yeah, fair enough. So when I see somebody like Light come in and start talking about this meditation thing, I'm like, all right, like at first I'm like, you're kind of, well, what the fuck? Like I don't really, this wasn't something that really interested me, but it's always been kind of nagging at me, like you should do this, you should do this. Every successful person that does this. Everybody that's successful that you hear about their biographies or whatever, they start their days with meditation, and I've always thought like, man, why can't I do that? And there's all this other stuff that's like a genre that's like molded to it. And what I love about Light is that he just gets to like the core of it, and it's very, very easy to practice and assimilate.
I would like to learn his method, because I don't. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
It's basically cut the shit. Like his method is 5 minutes a day, and just sit there and practice devoting 5 minutes a day to something.
And it's so simple, and you're like, why is it so hard for me to get there? It is so simple to do, but it's like, I mean, sometimes I'll go so busy because I have like I used to have like 8:30 court appointments all the time with my daughter. I have to get there. So like my whole day would start going to court and not meditating. Yeah. And I would feel so scrambled, like, gosh, what seems out of place? Oh, I didn't meditate, and it's like, I'm not even kidding. Just the other day, like, I was like, okay, I woke up, okay, I'm going to meditate. And then I'm not even going to look at my cell phone. I am just going to meditate, and I walk my dog and I'm meditating. I'm like, okay, this is what I want, da-da-da-da-da. By the time I get back, look at my phone, I've already had like 3 calls for work, and I had someone that owed me money is put into my account.
Nice.
I was like,
nice. Cheers for getting money. Yeah.
Thank God for PayPal, by the way. Like, oh, you don't, whatever overseas. Oh, you could just deposit it.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
I accept gifts all year round, and I have PayPal.
What were you doing?
No, actually, my friend came out to visit with me, and his credit card had problems, so I loaned him some money, and he had to pay it back. So he's like, I fixed my account, so now I can give it back to you. I said, oh, no problem.
That's sweet of him.
And sweet of me to loan him the money.
Yeah. It's sweet of him to pay you back, because most people don't. Let's face it. When you lend somebody money, it's basically, it's a
handout.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm never going to see that again. And if I do, sweet, but 9 times out of 10, you won't see it back. So this meditation thing, we're going to be doing this all month. It's crazy because this is a show on dating, but we always come back to metaphysics. I swear. Our last 5 shows have been about metaphysics.
Because Jared, you can't deny who you are. That's who you are, and you are so many different things. But that's the root of you. I mean, you are so well-rounded, and that's why we get along, because we can talk about anything. Yeah. But that's really the root of you. That. It is. I mean, because you know what? I think that dating is a huge thing, but it's not everything in your life. For me, it's not. There's so much. People think when I post pictures of myself, like, oh, I'm trying to get dates. I'm doing it because I think I look hot, and I really don't care.
Well, people suck at dating, and this is
they do. That's true.
I think for something as like, I mean, granted, the metaphysical thing is a couple hundred years. I mean, it's not really. It's timeless because it's always been there. The discovery, the new thought movement, it's been, the past couple hundred years. There are obvious examples of people who've known about it through history. But one thing that's been eternal is male and female. And I mean, male-female dynamic, it's always been right there. And it's like, how do you fuck up on this? And I was angry at myself because I'm like, how do I fuck up on this? Why? Mm-hmm. Like, how isn't this right? And then, I think people just kind of hammer their way through life, and someday they end up just like, oh, I kind of got parts of it right, and this is my philosophy, and I think this, and I feel this. And they'll actually start to impart that wisdom on other people. And it's like, they have no idea what they're talking about.
I know.
And there's such a gap in the communication facilities between men and women.
Oh my gosh, seriously. And I think, like, when I read your book, I was like so amazed. I'm like, wow, he finally puts it where guys need to know this stuff, I mean, they really need to read this book if you guys haven't read it yet. But dating is so hard, but you got to take yourself, your emotions, feelings out sometimes because you make wrong choices. And that's why when I want to do my book, it's going to be about how you cannot lower your standards. When you lower your standards into someone, then you start lowering, everything else goes to crap. And
you know what's funny is I just started coaching women. I only ever coach men. And recently I've been getting a lot of girls that are like, hey, can you help me? And all of them, right off the bat, one of the first questions they ask me is, should I lower my standards?
No.
And I'm like, no, you shouldn't. You should do everything. Like, when I was a kid, my mom used to say you have expensive taste because what I wanted to eat. Should we go to a restaurant or something? And I'd be like, I want that. And she'd be like, look, we live on food stamps right now. You cannot have that. You can have this. My mom was great, and she really took care of us and stuff. And we did get pretty much whatever we wanted. We were very, very loved and very well taken care of.
And I love your mom, by the way. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Love
Happy
you.
New Year.
She's definitely watching this. She should be. If you're not, bad mom.
Yeah. Sit, boo boo, sit.
Bad mama. No, but we. I always wanted women that were out of my league, even when I was a kid. And, at that time, I was in such a bad place. I was failing my way through school. I had all these emotional problems. And there were I was overweight. I had a whole bunch of different problems that, are you really taking something?
I'm sorry. At least my clothes are on.
Hump day. Yeah, and I always had expensive taste. And now I look back, and the girls that I would have given my right arm for are girls that I wouldn't even date now, But it was because I wanted something that was a little out of my league that I said, how can I get that? What do I got to work on to get there? It's like you want to play in the major leagues. You want to be a professional baseball player. You got to be playing baseball every day. You got to get better at it. You got to hone yourself and start working on on the places that you're weak. And for me, nothing. I had no. Because I didn't have a father, I had no mold for identity. I had no shoes to fill. So for me, I was constantly looking for what was a man, and I just went out and explored.
See, that's funny because I did not have a father figure. I had my stepdad, Ernest. Actually, his birthday was yesterday, but my sisters took me out of the inheritance, and they still call me their sister. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Yeah, really? Hi.
To Tina's sisters.
Hi, sisters.
Hi, guys.
Money. Yeah. Don't call me your sister because obviously it's only on Facebook for my fake family friends and whatever. That's a whole other life. But anyway, so he was, always fathering them, and they had 4 sisters. Mm-hmm. My mom was always working, and my mom never really, and I love my mom, and she's, you're never going to not love your parents, but they're going through their own little stuff, and we had 9 kids. So she never sat down and told me the birds and the bees. She never sat down and taught me anything. So when you kind of
But it's almost better because over time, you had to explore that. You had to learn the dynamic on your own.
You have to find yourself. And I'm just very blessed, and I thank God every day for I was 10 years old with my conversation with God. And 10 years old, because my family always left me by myself. My sisters would leave me. I was home alone. They went to water parks without me. Where's little Tina?
That's so fucked up.
I know, and I'm like, oh,
wow.
I know, always.
To Tina's sisters. Here.
Yeah, seriously.
Happy fucking New Year.
They would always leave me behind. And so one day I was looking in the backyard. We were living in Canoga Park at the time. I was born here in California. And I was looking at this guy and just started talking. And then, God answered me. And I was just like, oh, my God, why am I all alone? And he goes, you're not alone. I'm like, whoa. And I'm all, what? He goes, Tina, you're not alone. And it kind of makes me cry because, it was a very impactful day. And I go, I feel alone. And he goes, but you're not. And he goes, just feel me. And he goes, hug me. I'm putting my arms around you and close your eyes and feel this love. And I felt it. I was like, oh, my gosh. He goes, I'm always here for you. And I said, wow, that felt great. And I was like, wow. He goes, so you're never alone. And I said, okay. And then he goes, I go, okay, well, God. I go, why'd you name me Tina? And he goes, what? I was such a boring name. And he goes, Tina's not a boring name. I go, well, could it be because my stepsister, her name was Gina Christine. And I like Christina. I have a sister named Tina. And I'm like, I don't want to be like her. And I'm like, I love Christy Brinkley. I want to be like Christy. I could have options if my name was like Christina. But I'm Tina. He goes, no, you're Tina Marie. He goes, say Tina Marie over until you love your name. And I was like, Tina Marie, Tina Marie, Tina Marie. Oh, wow, I do love my name, Tina Marie. And then I love my name, I love myself. And I was like, wow, I felt love, and I loved who I was.
Yeah.
And then I go, wait, God, don't leave, please. I go, wait, okay, I love myself and I'm not alone. And I go, can you give me one more, like, words of advice before you go? He goes, again, I'm never leaving you. But he goes, do unto others that you do unto yourself. I go, that's it. He goes, yeah, that's a golden rule. And I said, okay. And I sat there. I was like, wow. So from that day on, I had a conscience. I never stole, lied, cheated, skimmed from the top, hurt someone.
Well, yeah, you talk to God. I mean, that's kind of
You're right, but like still, people go to church on Sunday and they still skim from the top and they take percentages when they shouldn't.
But it's funny that instinctive voice inside, because everybody's got that little voice where you're like, you kind of ask it a question and it's like, boom, like the answer right away. And I've always, like nobody hears the audible voice of God, but that little
Right.
like where you do have a conversation with yourself and there's this kind of automatic thing that's answering your questions for you and like, what should I do? Boom. And the answer comes and you're like, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? It's that greatness within you. What is it? Enthusiasm, entheos, the God within,
Yeah, and that's why the new book I'm reading, which I just love so much, is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
It's a good book.
Oh, I love that book.
You got me a signed copy of that book.
Yeah, I know. See?
Yeah.
And I have this thing too, like another thing that I manifest. If I like something, I have to meet the author or the person that did it. And I met Sharon Lecter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And Napoleon Hill's like, oh, I just love him so much. I heard he was a real jerk though in person. Sometimes he was real anal and stuff. But I think we'd get along just fine. But that's how I think he talked to him about outwitting the devil, was that thing that, that your intuition, your subconscious, whatever you want to call it. But it's this peacefulness. And it's like, wow. And I always, when I start focusing and letting that voice listen, my answers come to me, just like you said. And it's like, and it's so crazy that we don't stop to even do that, to think. We will worry more than we think.
Yeah, back to meditation.
Yes. And it's so funny because, I think, though, if you're dating, you need to start your day with what you want. You need to write down your goals, what you want.
And I've told so many girls that every time a girl asks me, should I settle, should I da-da-da? And I said, when's the last time you allowed yourself to want and actually go, I want that and I deserve that? When was the last time that you actually said, hey, I want a guy that makes enough money to take care of me, that is good looking, that I'm attracted to? Like that's a really common thing I get a lot from girls. They're like, should I go for the ugly guy who's good and is going to take care of me? Or should I go for the hot guy that's probably an asshole and probably going to leave me? And I'm like, no, you can have a hot guy that's also awesome, that also wants to take care of you, that's chivalrous and a gentleman.
Okay, first of all, she's already planning being left.
Yeah.
Okay, hello.
It's putting that out in the universe.
Let me tell you something. Hot people don't cheat because they're hot. I've never cheated, okay, and I think I'm pretty hot.
Hey, amen. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the no cheating club.
To the no cheating. Like, I don't understand that. If you're not happy, leave. Why string people along? But those are a character defect. People feel like they have to hide things and hidden agenda, or they want more. They're not happy with what they have. Well, then you're like settling, you know what you want, but you're gonna use somebody. I would never use anybody.
Yeah. And
that's what they do, and they don't have enough confidence or self-esteem to move on.
And that's what it is. And I'll give you guys a little sneak peek at methodology of the modern female. It's almost going to be a mirror of modern male. Because I found that the same problems that males struggle with are the same problem. The attractive qualities within a male, they're universally attractive within women. Confidence. Men like confidence. We like confident women. We don't like cocky or overbearing women. We like confident women. Just like women don't like cocky or overbearing or overcompensating men. And it's these little fine-tuned things. And we're actually going to be, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at what we're doing for 2015 here in a second. But we'll come right back to...
Do you know,
what you're saying.
I broke up with this guy I was dating. Honestly, sometimes, I fall. Like, I won't, if you ask me out enough, I will say yes, because it will bother me. But I was dating this guy, and he was a banker. And, we had fun together, but I just never, wanted to be, serious, but he wanted to get serious. I was like, just give me a chance. I promise you, I'm going to do great and do well. And it's like, I don't want to give you a chance. Like, honestly, I already think you're a great guy. And we had a great relationship. But the thing is, though, I like champagne and caviar. Call me a bitch. That's what I like. Guess what? I'm not going to expect you to buy it from me all the time, but that's what I like.
Yeah, but why? See, but people associate champagne and caviar with money, and then with, oh, well, they have and we don't, and it becomes this disgusting thing in their mind where they're like, oh, well, that's for the haves, we're the have-nots, and it's like, no, fuck that. Like, this is Earth, okay? Earth. We were all born into it naked. You can have whatever you want. If you want caviar and you want a Rolls Royce, you can have it. If it's your problem or it's your own stupidity if you think that you've got to suck a dick or use somebody to get there. Okay?
Yeah.
You can get the Rolls Royce and the caviar any way you want. It's your own mental hangups. It's your own mental conditioning that you've trained your mind into believing because you wanted to find a reason why you don't have it. You're going, oh, well, I don't have this. So there, and then as you try and figure this out, it actually becomes a very, very negative thing. And it's crazy because I've actually been going through the process of unblocking a lot of those things over the last year. And seeing how many negative beliefs I hold.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I totally made this to be something other than it was. And I totally spun that. And we collect these so often through life that, like, I mean, shoot, this whole year I've been analyzing myself and I'm like, I found hundreds and hundreds of things that I'm like, oh God, I got to fix that. I got to change that.
It's just because society, you feel like you have to please society. Why? I want to please myself. When has a society pleased me? So why am I caring what everybody else is doing or thinking of me? And that's what people do.
A lot of it does come from being afraid.
Yeah, and that's why Outwitting the Devil talks about, church, schools, higher figures, all of their beliefs become yours, and you don't know who you are as an individual, and you're told and trained all these things, but you never think for yourself. And the thing is, like, I sit there and go, what do I want? Like, and you know what? It's funny. I know what I want and what I like, but I will never spend like money on myself. I'm so generous. Like, I give everything to my daughter, everything. Jeez. I mean, and that was my bad, but I have no regrets. I wasn't trying to create a monster, but I just wanted to have things that I didn't have, and which was...
Well, I was a rough kid as well growing up, and I turned out to be pretty okay.
Well, bless her heart.
I love for you, Tatiana.
Well, Tatiana, I love you so much, but, call me, please. I mean, I miss you. But, Facebook me.
Oh, tonight's like Mother's Day.
But, if I want something, I can have them. If I want it, I can have it. So the conversation with the boyfriend, I say, listen, I care about you and you're a good friend, but I'm not where you're at. Like, you're young and you want me to, start this whole family white picket fence thing. I don't want to do that. I've already done that. I feel like, wow, I'm free. Like, now I do. I'm even freer. But I want, other things. And having a kid and that life is just not what I want right now. And because you like me, I don't have to like you back that way. And it does make me a bad person. I'm actually honest to you that, you know what, I'm not there. And I broke up with them. I think that's much nicer than stringing people along and not being not ever changing who you are and
using people for their shit.
Yeah, it's like, no, I would rather go without and then take advantage of somebody.
And we've got a war on the sexes right now, and it's really, really unfortunate because people think that there's only one avenue, that they kind of fall into these conditioned response modes or methodologies, and it's like, no, you're an idiot. Like, we're going to break down the social genres and the sub-archetypes that rule people's lives, these conditioned patterns and habits of belief, and we are going to show you how you can have a healthy, awesome relationship or date as many people as you want. You're going to have an awesome time with it. That's what this show is about. So I'm going to get right into it because we've got a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So the first change for Modern Male Radio is that we're going to try for every show to have an expert female panelist. So we've had Tina on, Brooke Haven is another one. We're going to have models, actresses, girls from all walks of life, people that aren't even famous, simply because the subject matter that we bring up towards males needs to be scrutinized by women. I feel like it's very, very important to have a female perspective on everything that we bring up, because we can sit here and we can talk about it all day long, but if it doesn't work on women, it's crap. It's complete crap. It doesn't matter. It might sound good to us, but if it doesn't work for the girl, then it's
abort mission.
Yeah, abort mission.
How many times do you do the same thing over and over again, like he says, until you realize that it's causing insanity. So quit doing it.
Yeah. Doing the same thing. I forget the quote as well.
But it's a good one. Look it up.
So starting, we're going to be going through Methodology of the Modern Male. We're going to go through almost the whole book, and we are going to draw every segment out. And we're going to have a female panelist on and a guest that fits. Starting on the 15th, we're going to be following Sydney's new show, Friends to Lovers, and giving our interactive commentary on one of the most precarious and frustrating places a person can find themselves, the dreaded friend zone. Feel free to interact with us live on Twitter during the show. Leave your questions and comments so we can talk about what our listeners want to hear. I mean, guys, this is an interactive show. You can call in and you can leave us feedback on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever.
Jared,
yes.
When is this show? What airing type? And what's the number to call?
Okay, so the show, the number for LA Talk Radio is actually right below the box that you're watching right now.
But what if no one is watching or just listening? Is that possible?
No, it's not possible. We've actually got a lot of listeners.
Yeah, well, I mean, but anyway, in case they didn't know, what's the number?
It is 818-570-5085. That is our number to call into LA Talk Radio. Sam's giving me the approving nod. So on the 15th, we are going, actually the show airs on the 12th. That's January 12th. It's Monday night or Tuesday night, and it's at like 10 p.m. That's Sydney's new show on Bravo called Friends to Lovers. And basically, it's a show on people that decided to get out of the friend zone. We're going to talk about the dynamics there, how you can actually get out of the friend zone, and kind of the situations that these people end up in. And that's gonna hold us for January into February. And then we've got a whole bunch of really cool stuff to talk about.
But by the way, it is a Monday, the 12th.
It is?
Monday,
Okay, it's a Monday.
At 8 o'clock, you said?
I think it's 10.
10 o'clock. Okay.
I don't know. It's
Bravo.
on Bravo.
That's awesome. Congratulations,
Google
Sydney. I can't wait.
Yeah, right? Go, boy.
Happy New Year.
And then we are going to be going in depth on the book. If you haven't read the book, well, shit, we gave it away on Christmas. So if you haven't read the book yet, it's because you're stupid or you're not following me. Follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, or whatever. I give away shit all the time. You're the one that's losing out. Methodology of the Modern Male is a 47,000 word, simple, straightforward, hilarious guide on all the areas a man can polish up his dating experience. And the Modern Male Radio will be covering many of these subjects with expert guests. We will have female panelists to bounce and verify the facts off of. This should be an exciting year at Modern Male Radio. We're going to be covering perception because let's face it, most men are oblivious to how the world sees them.
I know. And what they say is, I used to tell people, be careful with the words you use, by the way, anyway, because what you say is who you are and words last forever.
Exactly. Perception. And you know, guys fail with this all the time when they're trying to be funny. They walk or you know, you have no idea how many times the guys told me he doesn't need any help, and I can literally just observe him and go, you're failing here, here, and here, and all the girls in the room will be like, oh my God, he totally nailed it. Perception, it is the most important thing. That's why it's first. Women, we're actually going to cover women. Shocker there, huh? Courtship, why you ever got the girl in the first place and why you still suck at it. Because let's face it, most guys don't know how to court. You never learn how to court properly because no girl is going to teach you how to do it right for the next girl.
Jared, I will stand by the car door like this.
Yeah, but you'll train them while they're doing it.
Yeah, I will stand. I'm like, what? I'm like.
Most girls will make an exception as he's like bumbling around and they'll be like, okay, whatever. And they won't even think to actually go, hey, you could do this better.
Well, no, I'll be like, then they'll click. I'm like, listen, you're taking out a lady, okay? So you need to open the door.
You're fancy now.
Okay, you're fancy now. I'm like, you know, but trust me, there's many hats that I wear. So
we've got man trainer on there as well. Right. I need you on my seminars. And then courtship brings us right into chivalry. Chivalry never died. Men are just lazy. And then we're going to cover drive. Women don't like rich guys. Women like ambition. Getting a little tongue-tied there.
Exactly. And we don't like cockiness. Like that's, first of all, I think money is a great thing to have. And of course, we all love it and need to pay our bills as a necessity. But it's how you treat people with the money. Money doesn't give you power to be a dick because then you're already a dick inside. Now you feel like, oh, now you're even like to be more of a dick.
Well, and when guys are cocky, it's like they're in love with their own ego. And, you know, who's got room for that? Like,
well, you can love yourself, but you don't have to be rude. You don't have to put people down. You don't have to talk down to people. Go ahead and love yourself, but be loving and inspiring and share how you got this wealth. Don't just be cocky and be like, oh, I can buy everybody here at the table. I got this Bentley. I got this. Guess what? Anybody can get a Bentley if they wanted one. How did you get the Bentley? You know, and why are you bragging about it? Because honestly,
I had a girl throw her Bentley in my face once. That didn't work out so well for her.
No, it didn't. You know.
Hi, Lauren.
So nobody cares what you own, because that means that you don't even think you really own it, okay? Because we can look at you. What we care about is who you are inside.
Exactly, which brings us to confidence. I know you think you're confident, but you're not. Most guys are either cocky or they're insecure, and they just flip-flop between the two, and they don't get it. We've got some really, really cool illustrations on how and why to find confidence, building confidence, what false confidence is, where you can find, or how you can identify it, and then how you can fix it. Charm is so important. That is my game. If I had game, it's charm. Charm is the ability to tap into your inner Ryan Gosling. I don't know why. I always hated him too.
Yes, I love him.
I as a guy, I'm like, I'm not stoked about it. But I was smart enough to go, oh, when she sees Ryan Gosling, okay. Because every time a Ryan Gosling movie comes on, girls they start moving in their seats a little bit, and it's like, okay, so there's something there. So just get out of your own way and learn a little bit.
But do you know what's crazy, real quick, Jared?
Mm-hmm.
Notebook. There was that other cute guy that was the military guy. Remember the one that she left him for? And he had everything going for him too. It was good looking, great, and it was amazing. They both were amazing. But it's like, where is your heart?
But he was cocky though, right? Wasn't he?
No, he wasn't cocky.
Wasn't?
He was sweet. He was just real good looking, and he had a lot of money. But she didn't have that connection. And of course, everything on paper looked amazing. Like, oh, I should marry him. But she didn't have that connection. Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to follow your heart. You will not be happy if you don't. And it doesn't matter if you don't have all the money to that. You will get the money. First of all, you will achieve what you believe. So, you bring him up higher. You have no idea. But don't ever go because, oh, that's a better choice on paper. That's ridiculous. Then you're going to just put yourself, you're going to be miserable because you're not following your heart. There'll
be a little hole in your heart. Which brings us, well, actually it doesn't bring us right into bromancing, but bromancing is another topic that we're going to be covering this year. Yes, and you do need to learn this so that you don't get your ass kicked when you steal somebody's girlfriend. It happens, and...
Well, what is bromance? I mean, I know because I read
bromancing
the book,
is basically like how to charm men. Like, not in a gay way, in a very, very heterosexual way. But how to make a guy your best friend, how to kind of establish dominance without him knowing it, how to kind of lead the energy in a room, and how to make somebody like you.
I know that I do that all the time with women.
Yeah.
Because I have to. Because they
Homancing.
Yeah. What would you call it?
Homancing.
Wait, what?
Homancing.
Homancing. I love it. I was a ho or whoa. I'm on. No.
Homancing.
So yeah, that's important. It's very important so that you can just make them feel comfortable around you.
Yeah. So and you have to do that because who wants more haters? General attitude, grooming. Every woman on earth just gave me a high five right now. Tune in for the grooming segment because you guys need it. Fashion, you're welcome. Fitness, all of the shortcuts, none of the bullshit, none of the complicated stuff. I'm going to teach you very, very basically. I'm going to do what Light Watkins did for meditation for me, for you with fitness. We're just going to skip to the parts that you need, and none of the stuff that you don't. We're going to get into game. You won't really need game when I'm through with you. Flirting, body language, speech. That is your new game. That's going to be what gets you the girl. Approach, 4 stages of game. This is the new evolution, guys. This is the newest stuff. This is straight out of the book, and you're going to be really, really excited. It goes far above pickup.
And I just want to say, your girlfriend's really hot.
Thank you.
Really hot. So you guys, if he's taking what he has learned and put it in the book, you guys need to follow this because he's doing it, living proof. It's kind of like, oh, so much, and you don't have living proof in your, this is awesome. Yeah. This is awesome,
It's that charm, man. And that's how I did it. Like, pickup doesn't work. Game and lines don't work. It works on drunk people. And it works if you're at a lower vibration and she's at a lower vibration and you guys are both drunk and it's like, yeah, but that's so grungy. Like, it's so close to the floor. You don't need to mentally manipulate people. You can inspire them and lead them. And that will get you, more attention.
A lifelong relationship or friendship still. Mm-hmm. All my boyfriends or even ex-boyfriends, we're still friends to this day because I never manipulated them.
Yeah, but you don't really need game, Tina. How many times have you ever went after a guy? It's never happened.
Well, if I saw, actually, I do. Sometimes I'll see someone and
you'll walk by them. She'll be like, hair flip.
I'll see them on the internet and they don't live in the same country. And I'll just like, oh, I know what to do. And then I do it and it works and they call me and I'm like, dang.
Kid Rock, Tina. There we go. I'm going to teach you guys sex. We'll bring some sexperts on here. Maybe we'll have Nick back. And yep, I went there. Love, in the end, it's what all of us really want anyways. I mean, there is a time period in a male's life and in a female's life, I think, where they kind of just want to sport fuck and get it out of their system. It's a very brief period of time. 90% of the people I know want boyfriends. 90% of the girls, 90% of the guys I know want girlfriends.
I think love is the ultimate thing. And you should, first loving yourself and knowing who you are and knowing what you want, and then finding the right partner in your life, but not trying to find someone to build you up and replace what's missing. You need to find that first.
And that's huge. And we're going to be talking about that too, as well as getting out of the friend zone and even text etiquette. So I'm going to give you guys a very, very brief overview of our show because we are running out of time. So in January, we're going to be covering perception and friends to lovers. It's basically going to be a preview of the in 2 months. So as Friends to Lovers is going on, we're going to give you guys kind of an overview of the whole year. So it's going to be really, really cool. You're going to want to tune into that because we're going to go play by play on what Sydney's doing with his girl. And in February, we've got women, psychology, courtship, and chivalry.
You just said all of that already. You told us that already.
I know, but I didn't tell you which month.
Well, we figure that it is each month because you said each chapter.
No. Okay. So in March, we're going to do Drive, which is we're going to have motivational speakers and stories on here. In April, we'll be covering fitness so you guys can get in shape for the summer, diet, exercise, and how to work out. May, we're going to be covering confidence, real, false, building confidence. In June, we're going to be covering game for your summer out in the club, flirting, body language, and speech. In July, we're going to be covering game, approach, 4 stages of game. And in August, we're going to be covering closing, leading, pivoting, resilience, and feedback. How to do it, what to do, and how to get better at it. In September, we're going to be covering charm, pitfalls, bromancing, and attitude. In October, we're going to do fashion. We're going to be bringing some experts in here to show you off some new style. In November, we're going to be continuing fashion because it is a big subject. And we're going to be telling you where to shop and how to do it on a budget because you can never have enough fashion advice. And December, we're going to do sex and love. And
Jared, I'm sorry that you said all that because, I want to hear... I'm so excited about perception, and that to me is going to be such a great topic. And will all of this be on the website so that we can look it up in case they didn't write it down?
Nope. You guys are gonna have to watch the show or pause it or something.
Well, why don't you put it on like a blog on your Facebook page? That way that people can stay tuned, and if they forgot, they can look it up.
Because they need to watch the show. If you're not,
they can watch the show too. But I'm just saying, that way we can. In case they're traveling and they can't. You
did hit on a good point, though, perception and it being incredibly important. All self-development begins with a shift in awareness. My friend Thor Wixom said that. All self-development begins with a shift in awareness. You're here in the fishbowl and suddenly you realize there's a bowl. And once you're able to step outside of yourself and kind of look through other people's eyes, or you're able to bridge that gap and communicate to somebody and actually figure out what they're saying and communicate and get an honest answer, honest feedback, then you can really start working on yourself.
How do you get to that point, though? It's like if someone tried to say, "Oh, Tina, your perception," I guess they wouldn't say that to me. Like, how you view. I guess how would you bring that out of someone that I guess you would hear what they were saying all the time? Like, you'd have to really hear what they were saying daily, right?
Well, with perception, it's something that you as a person have to actively seek it out. So if I want to know how I come off, I have to go do that. And we're going to be getting into that next show. We're going to be teaching you exactly how you can negotiate honest feedback, honest answers from people. There's so many different, it's so hard to do that sometimes because people will spare your feelings and they'll think, I'm not going to tell him the truth because it's fine. It's not bad enough to really make a point.
And never tell the truth when you break up with somebody. Oh, and by the way, your breath stinks and this happens and I hate this. Like, what? Why? That is so mean.
I think it's important.
No, but not when you're breaking up. I'm saying
somewhere during the relationship, maybe.
Yeah, because that's scarring too. When you do something like that to somebody at the end.
It is, but you can either be scarred by it or you can fix it. Like go to the dentist.
How about if the girl or the person would have told the person that, they would have never broken up. Why not fix the problem at hand?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, really, like if that's the reason that you broke up with somebody.
If it was really bothering you, then you should have said something.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And we're going to be covering all of that. It's really, really cool that we get to kind of break this down and spread it out. Do you have anything else, Tina, that you'd like to tell people? Is there anything
that's
going
really
on?
On my mind? God, there's so much on my mind when I'm around you. It's like, oh my God. It's like all this information, but we touched on so many different things. But I'm like really glad that you're talking about meditation, because that to me is just really life goals, and it's really planning it.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
If you fail to plan, then plan to fail. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so true.
And if you guys want, that's theinnergym.com, theinnergym.com, and that is Light Watkins. You just sign up for the newsletter. He sends you a daily reminder, and the book is like $4 online. So do that, because it's something that I've found to be very, very productive.
And the thing, when you talk about lowering your standards, girls, don't ever lower your standards. Men, don't ever lower your standards. You want someone to build you up and bring you up. Like, you want to have a partner that are both, you know.
Well, Tina, we could expand this, and we could do a 2-hour segment, and we could have modern male and modern female.
We should, Jared. I can't get enough of this right now.
Hey.
I'm kind of feeling that right now. I'm getting chills. Oh, because I could also do part of my book as well, which is, you know, inspirational stories that actually things work. Because I think when you teach something, you have to actually live it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to why things worked. And I know the mistakes too that I've made, and which is great, because I will never marry a musician that doesn't have a job. Okay, first mistake. And you know, and he was not even, my ex-husband wasn't the kind I would normally date. So again, out of my norm and something different that I should have never done. But I look back and haven't made that mistake twice, you know, but I learned so much from it. And actually, my ex and I are friends now.
Are you?
And we're both working on Tatiana, and like, you know, I just wish that parents would not fight. And that's just the thing. Fighting is so bad. And
Yeah, well, we're going to be working on our gender communications here at
yes,
Modern Male Radio.
communication too. Just like last night, you know, when I went out, you gotta communicate, never assume. Because when you're assuming, it's all these.
Assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, it's so true. And I swear it's so true. Just always communicate better. Say what you feel, mean what you say. Say
Yeah,
what
and I
you
mean, there's definitely a way to deftly communicate, you know, to really negotiate, navigate, you know, the truth, the honesty, and how to deliver things in a very, very concise way. So, you know, and that's something that we're trying to do here at Modern Male Radio. And
honestly, is when you're just honest with your answer, then you have nothing to lose, you know, because you gave it your best and you were honest. So I know sometimes we'll think about, oh, how am I going to approach somebody? How am I going to tell this person this? And you get all nervous and scared. It's just, you know what? Go from your heart and say and do it. And my one girlfriend told me, I know we're hardly any time, but when I was on the court with, you know, with all this custody battle, and I go, what if they say this and they say this? She goes, Tina, just say, I am what I am. And that's what Jesus said when he was being crucified.
I am that I am.
I am what I am, and you are. And just own it, I am what I am, and that's it. You know, period. And I am is so amazing.
No, it's true. And, you know, Exodus just came out. It was kind of, I think that was in there somewhere. But cool, guys. You can find us at methodologyofthemodernmale.com, facebook.com/methodology, or the Modern Male Movement. Whatever, Google me. We're on Twitter. We're going to be ramping up our social media here. You can always find free tips and tricks and all sorts of cool stuff on the Modern Male Movement Facebook page. And interact with us. Talk to us. We always want to hear what you think about the show, where you think it should go, and what we're covering, what we're not covering. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Modern Male Radio.
You're listening to Modern Male Radio with Jared Zavastosky and Sydney Hall, right here on LA Talk Radio.